Hey guys, my name is Dave Clark and I do counseling right here in the West Houston area, and I specialize in relationships. I just got done with my morning workout and I'm really sweaty, I'm sorry. I'm going to talk really fast because I want to get this all in 3 minutes. Don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Guys, I want to talk about, people keep asking me to kind of make sense of what's going on in the news right now. There's a lot of violence. And stick with me to the end, because I'm going to issue a challenge to you guys and you're going to see why, and I think you're going to take it. First off, I want to talk about violence. First off, violence, I'm not talking about mental illness. I'm not talking about chemical imbalance. And I'm not talking about like substance abuse type violence. Now clearly, I like to work out. This is my thing. I like to lift weights. We all know that steroid use can lead to violence. I'm not talking about that kind of thing. I am talking about kind of your average, ordinary, everyday person that just seems to one day get violent and get angry. First of all, I want to say violence is a symptom. And again, this is my opinion. All of my videos are my opinion, and they're my opinion based on what I observe from my counseling bench, from looking across the room at the couple. I work with families, I work with couples, I work with addicts, worked with a lot of addicts. That's been the bulk of my career, but I try to specialize in couples, but it's the same all the way across. Violence tends to be a symptom, and I'm going to run through this really, really fast. So maybe I'll make another video getting in more into detail. But for first thing people do, violence is a symptom of not feeling heard, feeling like you've been marginalized, feeling like you don't have a voice, feeling like, hey, I'm screaming out and nobody's hearing me, or feeling like, hey, I've said this thing 20 times and it's still not happening, and I need to know why. The first thing we do is we get loud. First thing a couple does when they don't feel like the other one's listening to them is they start shouting at each other. And when that doesn't work, because it never works, and if it does appear to work, there's a bigger problem, because what you've done is you've damaged the relationship, and your spouse or whoever you're dealing with is only doing what you've told them to do to get you to shut up, and that damages, that's definitely a symptom of a destroyed relationship, or a damaged relationship anyway. Let me not get ahead of myself. Number two, we get, first we get loud, then we get vile. We start the name calling. Hey, you're not hearing me, so I'm gonna start calling you every name in the book to try to get you to hear me. I'm gonna ratchet it up. You're a horrible person. You're a this, you're a that, you're a woo, whatever nasty thing I can think of. And number three, when that doesn't work, is we get violent. You haven't heard my voice. You haven't heard me get vile. Now I'm going to do something that's going to make you hear me. Now, this can go there go lots of ways really, but this is kind of where, in my opinion, again, this is just my observation from sitting in my chair. This is where we're getting school shootings. People keep saying, well, he was a quiet kid. He kind of kept off to himself. Yeah, that quiet kid was screaming on the inside. Somebody say hi to me. Somebody acknowledge me. Somebody tell me I'm doing a good job. Somebody, please. And nobody did. And they finally said, you know what? I'm going to do something that's going to make you hear me. I'm going to do something to where you can no longer ignore me. Again, this is my opinion. We get a lot of suicides from this, because that's when the violence turns inward. It becomes a hopeless situation. Nobody's ever going to hear me. Nobody's ever going to hear my voice. So, it's got to end somehow. Guys, here is my challenge to you. Remember, my thing I say at the end of every video is, we're all just walking each other home. Hold hands, enjoy the journey. My challenge to you, right now, the death toll from the violence that has happened in the last week is 22. My challenge to you is this week, find 22 people over the next 7 days to just reach out to and say, how you doing? Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Is there anything, can I listen? Can you just tell me what's going on and just let me listen? It'll be okay. I'm not going to tell anybody. And hold that trust, hold that sacred trust if they tell you anything. But it could be anybody. It could be that neighbor next door. Could be that coworker. Could be your pastor. Man, pastors hardly ever get someone reach out to them. And when they do, they're always kind of a little leery, because like, can I trust this person? Be that person they can trust. Be the sacred place. This week, find 22 people over the next 7 days. All you have to do is, you don't have to be a rescuer. If they tell you, man, I don't have any place to live, you don't have to say, hey, come live at my house. No, you cannot be a rescuer. But you can listen, and it may make their day. It may change their world. It may change 22 other people's worlds. Because guys, in the bigger picture, the reason we all do this is because we're just walking each other home. Let's hold hands and enjoy the journey.